Hi, I'm Bayside Coach Robin, and I'm here today because I was thinking about mountains. And I don't know if you've ever been near mountains or in the mountains or climbed a mountain, but the mountains that I was thinking of are a bit more metaphorical. Metaphor of a mountain, when I think of a mountain, is that a mountain is something that is imposing. A mountain has magnificence. A mountain is solid. And a mountain is rugged. And a mountain is a monument in a way to geological time. A mountain is very permanent structure, and the only thing that can really affect a mountain would be if it implodes from the inside, as if it were a volcano. A volcanic mountain would implode from the inside, and it would be the hot magma pushing up from the earth and spreading out into the surrounding area, and ashes flying and everything like that. Pretty cool experience, but that would be possibly the destruction of a mountain. It could also be the birth of another mountain, or erosion. So, in a very slow way, particles of the mountain get washed away or eroded away due to the actions of water and ice and wind and things like this. So, it would take, you know, hundreds of centuries probably for a mountain to really disappear due to erosion. But, um, or, if there were glaciers on the mountain could diminish in size because of global warming or something like that. But anyway, mountains in general are very permanent, and people have always been in awe of mountains. Mountains are structures that are, way bigger than us, and they remind us that we are relatively small specks on a big planet. So, at the base of a mountain, when you're at the base of a mountain, you feel protected, you feel safe, you feel the mountain kind of hovering over you in a very protective way, and it feels good, but you also feel closed in. And so humans tend to like to ascend to the peaks and look out. But when you're at the peak of a mountain, you're exposed. You're exposed to the elements. It is cold up there. It is windy up there. There can be lightning and storms and all kinds of things. And above the tree line, there is no protection. You are vulnerable. Okay. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, what might have taken you 3/4 of a day to get up the mountain, you can get down that mountain in an hour when you are feeling vulnerable to the elements and you know a storm is coming and you see the lightning bolts coming down in the distance and you are like, get me out of here. And you go down because you do not want to be that exposed. You don't want to feel that vulnerable. Nobody does. A lot of times in our own mountain spirit, the spirit of our soul, we feel vulnerable. And that is something that, we come inside into a more nurturing place where we aren't that exposed. So I wrote a poem about a mountain. And the poem goes, it's a really simple poem. It's nothing to write home about too much, except that I wrote it because the mountain was in my soul that day. Um, you can climb the mountain. You can feel its rocks beneath your feet. You can enjoy the view from the summit, or you can enjoy its majesty from a far distance. But can you ever really know the mountain? Kind of reminds me of the Donovan song, right? First there was a mountain, then there's no mountain. Um, but I would argue that you cannot really ever know a mountain. You cannot know, you can know the awesomeness and the grandeur of it. But to really know a mountain, it's a multitude of experience. And it's sort of like you can't, because it's like the blind men describing an elephant. You can only experience the part of it that you're actually in the presence of. And there's always another aspect that is not where you are. So it's so much grander than we are that it's very hard to understand and grasp the full significance of a mountain from any one perspective. Which is why mountains have always been the home of the gods. If you think about Greek mythology, Mount Olympus is where the gods hung out. If you look into the Himalayas, Kailash is where the gods hung out. There are some other mountains that are really awesome, mountains like Kilimanjaro, mountains like the Matterhorn, mountains like Mount Rainier, mountains like Mount Washington, even. These aren't mountains. I'm sure there are other mountains on other continents, but these mountains, are imposing, they're magnificent, and they do inspire us to feelings of awe. When the sun is setting in the mountains, you get the alpenglow, and the whole sky lights up with sunlight, and it's magnificent. When you're on the top of a mountain and you're watching the stars in the sky, you are in the sky, literally. And it's magnificent. There is no way to equate that with, the experience from the ground or the experience on the ground or just the experience of looking at a mountain. So in that way, the mountains inspire the human spirit. And they're also a metaphor for the human journey, in that humans always see mountains and they always want to ascend the mountains, climb the mountains and reach the peaks. And, for centuries, there's the question, the eternal question. Well, why did you climb the mountain? And the answer, of course, is because it was there, it's almost a joke. But it's because there's always it's a challenge, and when we want to expand, we want to expand our horizons, we want to expand our view, something has piqued our imagination, and we want to know more. So this is humans wanting to ascend, wanting to know more, wanting to grow more, wanting to get a view that is more than the view that they already can see from their own horizon. And so we climb the mountain. And when we get to the top, we can look around. We can dwell on the beauty of the mountain. We can look back, but I wouldn't advise it. You don't want to look back for too long because you've already come from there. And the terrain. Some people get stuck in that and they moan and groan about how difficult it was to ascend to the summit, how hard it was and how hard they worked. And they moan and groan and the trauma of getting there, and every step was probably a nightmare for them. But some of us get to the top and we are feeling great and we're enjoying the view and we're looking around. And we appreciate that for a while. We'll appreciate that for a while and celebrate the achievement of getting there. And then off in the distance, we see the next peak. And we want to go there because we haven't experienced that yet. Something about that one has captured our imagination and our interest. And we want to know, what is that and what is there? So most of us, we don't just get stuck enjoying the view and appreciating for too long where we are. We will go down into the valley so that we can get to the next mountain. It takes us a little time at the bottom to regroup, to regather our energy, to gather our sources and our resources. And then we're off again to the next peak. And this is the human journey that, some people live at the base of the mountain most of their lives and they're happy and content to be there. And until something rocks their world, until something ignites their imagination, you know, and or a storyteller comes back and inspires them to want to see more. Something inspires them to want to see more and to grow more. And these are the people who are on a growth journey. These are the people I love to coach, because people who are on a growth journey sometimes need a guide or a Sherpa or something to help them optimize their journey, because maybe they haven't been there yet, or they haven't seen, or they're not inspired enough to get there on their own. And this is where I come in as a coach, and I help people. I guide people, I inspire people, I transform people to be the people who are capable of attaining the peaks that they desire to reach. And so, if you would like to work with me and reach a new peak, optimize where you're going and get there in the fastest way possible, talk to me. I'm a coach for transformation and optimization. I coach for energy alchemy, which is a transformation of energy and mindset, and I can help you reach the peak that you desire. You can reach me at baysidecoachrobin@gmail.com. Thank you.